Hello, everyone. Hello. Welcome to MP Soft Sanity Podcast. I'm here with Cricket. Say hi.
Hi.
So, how's your week been?
It's been good. I'm learning Smash Ultimate, so be scared.
Nice.
I think.
I'm terrible at
terrified.
Smash.
I can smash. Not really.
You play Yoshi? Do you play Yoshi?
Yeah, I play Yoshi.
Yeah.
I play Yoshi. I wanna get into Green Ninja because I love Green Ninja a lot, but he's very you need to be very precise with him, and I am not precise at all. I like slamming downwards, and I figured out what was the other guy? I don't remember who the other guy was. I was playing him last night or like 2 nights ago. He can do like a bottom smash, and I was like, oh, I need to learn this fella, but I forgot who it was.
What's he look like?
I don't remember.
Oh my gosh. That's fine.
I have to look at the roster.
That's fine. So,
oh my god, Yuka!
Yay, okay.
I wasn't following you, how? Okay.
Thank you. Okay, first question. Okay, what sort of mental health struggles have you been facing lately?
Lately, a lot of it is unfortunately work theme. So like motivation, being able to stay on task. I don't know if that's like mental.
Well, no, that
maybe.
definitely counts, so.
Okay, so a lot of like ideas and stuff, so I haven't like streamed a lot as I'd love to. I've been like ankle deep in work.
Yeah.
Well, not ankle. I'd say like up to my boob, like length in like work. Like they've been screwing me over a lot. So it's been like stressing me out a lot.
Yeah.
I can't really like focus. A lot of the time when I do stuff, they'll give me a list, and like even lists kind of like give me issues. It's mostly time management.
Yeah.
Me. I'm not good at time management, and that adds on more stress. I look at the list and I get stressed out. I look at what I have to do and I get stressed out. I look at the time and I get stressed out. And it's just like a never-ending like snowball of like, what do I do now? What do I do next? I forgot as soon as I walked into floral department what I'm supposed to be doing, and I get distracted a lot. I'm very what do you call it? I pay attention to detail a lot.
Yeah.
And in a lot of other things too, that I should have paid attention in, I pay attention in. So I'll be doing one thing on the list, and then I'll notice, oh shit, this isn't filled up properly, or somebody put this in this bucket that it's not supposed to be in. I'll go over there and I'll be like, okay, this needs to be fixed. So then I do like a whole other side quest.
Yeah.
And I get lost. Like it happens like at least 10 times in like one work day.
Yeah, and then you get like focused on that other thing, like to the point like you forget the other thing.
And then there's people that come up and they're like, hey, can you do this for me? And I'm like, yeah, sure, I can do this thing for you. And then I get free time, and then I'm like, what was I doing? I don't remember what I was doing. So then I do something else.
Yeah.
And it's a constant fucking like endless cycle, and it pisses me off. It pisses me off so much. I can't.
Oh no, I relate. Like,
and it's like kind of it's snowballed into like when I have free time myself. So like when I come home at the end of the day, or I don't have work, and I'll go to draw, and I'll have an idea in my head. I go to write it down. Draw a circle for 10 minutes, erase the circle, draw a new circle for 10 minutes, erase the circle, and then I'm like, man, I want to play Overwatch 2. So I play Overwatch 2, and then and it's a constant cycle of that, like over and over.
Yeah.
It's stressful. I don't like it. And then it's been tough on like a lot of upper management too, because I'm the only one with the training, and it takes a lot more time to train a new individual. So right now, if they fire me, they're kind of screwed, because right now we don't have a lead. My lead retired. The other worker that I had, she found a new job. So I'm the last one there, and it's really overwhelming. I've found myself getting really overwhelmed with a lot of it.
Yeah.
Especially like my emotions are kind of really unpredictable. I have really unpredictable emotions. So even talking to coworkers is really difficult because I'll think, oh, they're gonna tell me to like fuck off. They're like, they're gonna tell me like, why are you talking to me? Like, I don't want to talk to you right now. And it's just constant snowball. What if? I need to do this. Why am I not doing that? Oh, this person's gonna yell at me. Oh, I'm gonna get in trouble. Or it's constant snowball
Yeah.
of nothing and everything all at once. And it's been like a constant cycle for months now. And I've dealt with like ADHD for like my entire life. I've had this diagnosis since I was in elementary. And I got diagnosed, and then I started having to take all these medicines, and then I was on those medicines for years, stopped like for a year in middle school, and then resumed like after that year because I figured out, okay, this is not working out. So I had to get back on medication, and I was in that since high school. In high school, I had to get re-diagnosed for I had to get reevaluated because I trigger warning, I threatened, and I had to go back to a hospital, and I stayed in like a ward for like three-ish days, and then I got out because I realized everybody there is more mentally ill than I was. So it's just like, I know I have issues that I can work on. I know other people have it worse than me. So then I start to try to validate myself and then invalidate my emotions because it could be so much worse, right?
Yeah. No,
So
I
it's
get
just
that.
constant snowball effect.
Yeah.
And right off the bat, I'm like getting into really deep shit. I'm really sorry. But
Oh no, it's okay. It's okay.
I have so much to say.
Yeah, well, we're
lot of
here to talk
self-worth.
about it, so.
Yeah. It's a lot of self-worth issues too. Like being, trying to open up to people has always been like difficult for me. I'll either overshare or undershare. So a lot of people are left kind of either knowing too much about me or too little, and they try to talk to me, and I'm like, why do you want to talk to me so badly? Like, I don't understand this. And yeah, no, small talk with coworkers, like, I absolutely cannot do it. I can't do it. Like, they have to approach me. I can't approach them unless I'm really comfortable with them, which is barely ever. I try not to get too attached, and that's how I was when I started going to the bar. I started, trying to kind of getting comfortable with people, but with so much shit that I've been through a lot of people, taking me for granted or trusting me too much, and that putting stress on me, and then people wanting something from me or relying, on me to make them feel better, or people not being able to have me open up to them because they didn't want to hear it, because with me, it's a very simple issue. I care too much, and it's good, right, to care, but when you care to the extent of, like always wanting to help people, or always wanting to hear people out, and, always wanting to be somebody you fall back on, or wanting to make other people feel better, you kind of forget yourself in the process. And it's been like that for me for years. And this is where the BPD kind of comes in. I started to lose sense of myself. I started to forget who I was, and I started to really ponder, who actually am. Who is Bug? Who's Bug gonna be? Who does Bug want to be? And it's been like that for years, and this is kind of where me losing sleep. I was diagnosed with acute insomnia. I don't have it that bad, but when I get it bad, at random, it takes a while for me to come back from it, because I will feel like I haven't slept in years. I will feel completely dead and drained, and I constantly have to like, tell myself like, you need to keep working, you need to keep doing this, you need to keep doing that, because I grew up, having like, not like a strict family, but like a family that, what's it called? Like a family that really thought I could apply myself better if I just kept doing it and kept forcing myself to do it. And that, that's like a lot of families, right?
Yeah.
And I didn't get like a sleeping med prescription, Drew. I got a there's a thing called hydroxyzine, and it's like a before you go to bed anxiety pill, or you can take it as needed. It makes you a little bit drowsy, so that's why they tell you to take it in the evening. I have that, and that helps a lot for sleep. There's a lot of doctors that still don't know about that, that you can prescribe that for like an alternate to sleep meds, because a lot of the times, people with insomnia, it's a lot of anxiety.
Yeah.
Ask me how I know. I have a boyfriend that struggles with that like a lot, really bad.
Yeah.
But getting kind of off topic. But yeah, no. I've been told I give really good advice, and it's advice that I should be following, because a lot of people are like, well, that's really good advice. Like, why are you so like why are you sad all the time? Like, you should be listening to your own advice. So it's like, a lot of the times, and I've noticed this, a lot of people do this. It's a really common phenomenon. If you are going through something yourself, and somebody else is going through something similar, and they ask you for advice, they ask you for guidance, you tend to, something in your brain opens up, third eye transcendence, right?
Yeah.
And you give the best fucking advice on earth, and they're like, wow, you're really smart. It's like, you listen back to what you said, you read what you wrote, and you're like, wow, I should be following this advice. Why am I dumb? Like, so, like, dumb. Like, why am I not following this? But it's like, it's a really common phenomenon.
Yeah.
And, it's like, I deal with, I've dealt with this a lot, like, growing up. I would get called immature, I would get called annoying, people would say I talk too much, so I was like, okay, well, maybe I should just not talk at all. And that's kind of where me being, like, quiet and reserved kind of came in, which sucks a lot, because a lot of people, they tell me, like, you're so funny, and, like, you're really outgoing, you have a nice heart, like, why don't you talk to anybody? And I'm like, well, I just can't. I find it hard. I grew up on the internet, and that kind of started to circle back a little bit, because watching the internet at the point it was back then, and looking back at how it is now, it's saddening. That's like your childhood, like, drifting away. Like, there's so many bad things happening, and it's just on every single part of the internet. And it's like watching your home get burnt down, like your childhood house get burnt down.
Yeah.
It hurts. It hurts a lot. And all that knowledge that you have, nobody else will know unless they were there.
Yeah.
And so, I just kind of, like, hide, like, how I am from people, because how I was, like, in elementary school is how I could have been now. But this will kind of come into a point later. It's like teachers in the school system. Kind of really ruined it for me, and it's like a whole other thing. But I never knew how people worked, so I had to kind of force myself to get a job and be dedicated to my job, because that was the only way I was gonna be able to learn. Because people my age, when I was in high school, I didn't click with anybody. Everybody's very cliquey with one another. I never fit in. I didn't have any people that I could, I guess call my second family. And growing up, you need people. You need to talk to people. We're like very social, like, individuals. Human race, very social. You need people. You need to have that sort of, connection with somebody, anybody, even a group, like at work. Like, at work was the first place I was actually getting the hang of being able to be in a social situation without freaking out. Like, I would freak out. Believe me, I still do. I don't like talking to people. But I want to, I have like a drive deep down. And that's kind of where I've been falling short. Like, I've been, like, noticing patterns, and I've been, like, I guess indirectly copying, like, certain people's like, way of, like, talking to people, interacting, jokes, picking up like, things on, like, politics, or, like, picking up things on, like, what's going on in the world, or who's a famous singer, what concert's gonna happen where, or, what store's opening up. Like, I'll pick this up from people in passing, and even if I didn't know anything about it, if it really interests me, I'll look it up.
Yeah.
And you think like that's like, oh, that's something just like anybody does, it's not like just like an exclusively you thing, but that's how I would learn. I would just I would pay attention to how people would talk to each other, topics, and that's probably why I'm really raunchy, because I was around people that would talk about nonsensical things and be on very shady sites. That's all I'm gonna say. But it's like it hasn't really ever improved. Like my mental health, it hasn't really ever improved. It's been like a stagnant like trash pile.
Yeah.
Constantly filling up on a landfill. I've dealt with so many things for as long as as long as I've been alive, obviously. And with something as intense as BPD, you can imagine how tiring it is to really open up to people or want to accept people into your life, because there's that fear of being left behind.
Yeah.
It sucks a lot. And there's always like a standard you have to like follow, or you feel like you have to follow, for these people that want to stay with you and actually be invested in you and want to like I was a people pleaser for the longest time.
Yeah.
So nothing's ever like I guess been good as far as that goes, because I would put a lot of pressure on myself. I always felt like I had a lot of pressure on me, and had to hold up this image, and then after a while I just kind of got sick of it, and I'm like, I'm just gonna do my own fucking thing.
Yeah.
Like I need to stop caring. And I went through a really weird arc recently where it was like, don't give a shit about anyone else, it doesn't matter. And when I followed that, I felt so much better.
Yeah.
I felt like my anxiety disappeared. Like just doing whatever I could, knowing well, like this is the only life I have. Why am I gonna bother with it for so long? And I realized a lot. But like I said, like mental health doesn't truly ever get better. It just kind of stays with you, and you just realize how to work around it and how to, learn how to cope with it. But that's for later. That's for later.
Yeah.
But yeah, state your piece.
So what I'm getting is, well, not only is there a lot of like pressures from like outside, there's also like inside pressures, like internal pressures.
Yeah.
You struggle with ADHD and borderline, is that correct? And it's kind of been since childhood, and like really big struggles, basically.
It's a lot to handle.
Yeah.
It's like a lot on my plate. Like I feel like I'm overeating, if that's like a good analogy to say. And then with like depression, anxiety, I got diagnosed with that. I got diagnosed with generalized anxiety, and then major depressive. So a good chunk of my life is just different medications, seeing out what works, going to therapy, going to a psychiatrist, looking up how to get out of a panic attack, or how to deal with all these emotions that I can't even like process myself. It's just, there's so much. there's so much to keep track of. It's like laundry list.
Yeah.
There's so much. And I don't know. Like I get terrified of like letting people down, because like I said, I'm a people pleaser. I want everybody to be happy. Like that's why I feel like I was put on this earth, to entertain, to make people feel better, to make people feel like they belong somewhere. Because growing up, I never belonged anywhere. I never felt like I belonged anywhere. And I'm super socially anxious. I want to say that like in response to Chad. I have really bad social anxiety. I get nervous at like concerts. I get nervous in the supermarket because I don't like people looking at me. I hate when people look at me.
Yeah.
I don't like being stared at. But I dress like a butch lesbian, so people can't help but stare. Like that's not me like sizing myself up. It's not like I'm like popping my own collar or anything. It's just I dress in a really specific way that would turn heads.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm not gonna stop, like, because the way that I dress is how I do self-expression. Self-expression, there's not been a lot of that recently. It's how people cope. And how I cope is dressing like a greaser that went through a time machine, right? I dress really weird. Um, but it's how it,
Mm-hmm.
it makes me feel better. It gives me a sense of like home. Like I feel at home dressing like a punk,
Mm-hmm.
and I kind of adopted like the lifestyle a little bit. Like screw the government, don't pay for stuff that you need. You shouldn't be having to pay just to be alive and live your life, because like if life is such like a sensitive thing and it's something that you need to like cherish, like why consumerism? Like why am I gonna have to pay for a granola bar if I'm like dying on my deathbed? It's like you go to the hospital and it's like, oh, you have something that's gonna kill you? 20K, take it or leave it. You want to die? Sorry, man. It's not my fault. It's not my problem. It's like, what? That's something else. It's something else entirely. But it's just been like a constant like slow burn for me. Like
Mm-hmm.
just trying to figure out how to really balance all of that, because depression, serious. Anxiety really stunts your growth as a human being. BPD, really bad friendship stuff. You can't keep or hold relationships, and you can't make
Yeah.
them because you're scared, you're terrified. And then ADHD, you're doing so many goddamn things at once, and then when you start thinking about all these things wrong with you, it's like, oh my god, a butterfly, look at that thing, that's so pretty, I love life. It's like it goes back and forth, and like that's funnily enough where I got my name. It's just there's a cricket doing backflips in her head right now, and I'm like, you know what, they're on to something. They have a point. I started, like that's why I'm a bug, because I'm like textbook definition bug brain. There's so much going on up there. One thing dies, another thing starts jumping around, and the other thing starts like doing fucking ollies in a skate park, and the other thing is like crying under a bed eating ice cream, and there's another one on a beach vacation. It's so much. It's so much.
Mm-hmm.
It's too much. It's too much. But yeah, that's it's just scary. It's terrifying. Yeah.
So I guess this brings us to our next question, because you pretty much answered like how everything's like affected your mental health and like all the struggles and whatnot. You mentioned one method of coping was how you dress and whatnot, right?
Yeah.
What other methods do you use to try to cope?
Art has been a really big outlet for me.
Mm-hmm.
I've been drawing since elementary. I've always had a passion for it. I like art.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of the times when I can't explain how I feel through words, or I go completely mute and I don't want to talk to anybody,
Mm-hmm.
I'll start drawing. And I've noticed that's helped a lot for me.
Yeah.
And you know how people get like all like happy and giddy whenever they see like a cat picture, a cat
Mhm.
video, or like dogs? I get like that with birds.
Oh, cute.
Like birds and sea animals. I love birds. Birds have always been like my version of funny cute cat videos meowing.
Mhm.
Like I see a bird say I love you, and that makes me fucking happy. I get like this stupid grin on my face. So like
Mhm.
and it's gotten to the point where I've told people, like, if you ever see me like breaking down, show me videos of birds doing bird things, please. And they do,
Yeah.
and it helps. It helps so much. It's therapeutic.
Mhm.
But you know, I've never been able to like sit still,
Yeah.
fidget a lot. I like clicking noises, so like fidgeting is a good thing for me too.
Mhm.
I never really understood what do you call it? Like the people that like oh wait, no, I completely forgot. Okay, ice helps.
Oh.
Being in a fridge, like a
Yeah.
freezer, that calms me down. It like resets my brain, and I've seen studies where it's like being cold has like a weird effect on humans, especially those with mental illness.
Mhm.
It locks your brain, and like what was I doing? Like why am I sad again? Like it's a weird study. I'd have to look it up again. How does one fit in a freezer? Work at a supermarket. Work at a supermarket, go into produce cooler or like meat cooler, just sitting there. If they ask you what you're doing in there, just tell them, I'm looking for the meat. No, actually don't do that. But you get what I mean. Like, even just like going to like a gas station and sitting in the beer cooler. I'm not an alcoholic, I promise. But like just sitting in the beer cooler, it's therapeutic. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just the cold. I love the cold. I've always loved the cold. The cold is like, I love winter. I
Oh,
love
me
fall.
too. Me too.
It's almost autism, Smiles. Sorry, I saw the image. It's really funny. I love the image. But yeah, no, like ice and fidgeting and drawing. That's always helped.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, McDonald's freezer. I worked at McDonald's for like a little bit. I didn't like it.
Let's see.
Oh.
So do you feel successful at handling your issues in general?
In general?
Yes.
I mean, it really depends on the mindset that I have.
Yeah.
I feel like I've certainly been trying. I've been doing a lot better. I had a really bad time, like, with, like, harming myself, like, hurting myself. I would snap rubber bands, I would itch my face a lot. I would, I had this weird thing where, I don't even know what it was. It was like a anxiety thing I would do. I would, get my thumbnail. I would cut all my other nails except for my thumbnails, and I would start scratching my index finger as if I was gonna flick a lighter. And I remember I did that so bad I bled, and I was like, okay, something's gotta change.
Yeah.
But I haven't done that in years. I've been clean for a good amount of time, and I have been working on, like, whenever I break down, I start to kind of like breathe, and I start to think of people that care about me and that want to see me well, and that puts me in a state of mind where if they saw me like this, they'd be disappointed. If they saw me like this, it would make them sad, and I don't want to make anyone sad. So that would kind of like calm me down. It would kind of like lull me into like this state of mind where I could actually go out and do stuff. And with BPD, it's very difficult to calm down because you have episodes that last for days or weeks or hours or even minutes. So I haven't fully, fully figured it out, but I will say I've made a lot better progress than probably a lot of people could say. So I would say, I feel like I've been pretty successful as of late. Obviously we all have our off days and stuff, but it hasn't been as bad. So I'd say I've been a little bit better.
That's good to hear. Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you think we could improve at handling such issues in general or personally? Like ways to improve coping or just handling ourselves.
Like in general?
Either general or personally, whichever you prefer.
So I'm gonna read what I wrote. it's a lot. Like my brain's like I keep looking at the pizza. I'm so hungry. Sorry. I really feel like there should be like some sort of like new therapy approach, because all the times that I went to therapy, it was just remember what I told you, do this. Remember what we talked about, do that. That doesn't really help. It doesn't really go a long way. I was overdue for cognitive or dialectical behavioral therapy for my BPD, and I never got it. So you could only imagine, like I've just been like raw dogging essentially, and like I said before, I was on a hefty amount of medication, so it was kind of me against the world. But I really do feel like there should be like some new approach to like therapy. Like for things like borderline or like ADHD, because a lot of it's just like stop fidgeting, stop doing that. You need to put stop signs on your fucking cabinet so you can stop opening the cabinet. You're not hungry, you're just bored. It's like, that's not gonna do anything. It's gonna make me feel fat. It's gonna make me feel dumb. So when people think of BPD or borderline, whatever you want to call it, they think of like highly enraged, like unstable, constantly stopping like individuals, right? Like people that just cannot do anything for themselves, which is untrue because it comes in many different severities. Me, I'm the kind of borderline that I'm stone-faced the entire time and I look angry. So people constantly are like, "Are you good? Did something happen?" I'm like, "No, that's just how I look." And then I get home and then I cry and I'm like, "Why the fuck am I crying?" But you know, whatever. When you look at me, you know, like I'm goofy. I'm a blank slate. You would never guess that something's wrong with me, right? But I'm a VTuber, so there has to be something wrong with me, right? Anyway, you know, no one could like, expect that there's like something wrong with me. Like just looking at me for the first time, you know. People think that if you have BPD, you are constantly crying, have an addiction to something, or you know, have some sort of like you're like itching like a crackhead. Like I don't know what people like think, but that's what one of my therapists thought, or my psychiatrist, whatever. She said that I'm too quote unquote nice, like I'm too like calm and reserved to have BPD. And I almost lashed out at her. Like that really made me angry.
Yeah.
Because I felt like invalidated, you know, and I know she didn't like, you know, mean it like that. I fucking hit my mic, sorry. But I know she didn't mean it like that. But you know, it's stuff like that it doesn't help. Like thank you for thinking I look nice, but that's not helping me.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you'd never know a person unless you actually sit down with them and talk about it. And she didn't do that. She was like, "Oh, you don't need to take that test. You're fine." And I was like, "What the fuck? You're like, why am I paying money for you to tell me that there's nothing wrong with me when like I wouldn't be seeing you if I didn't think I had something wrong with me, right?" But you know, this started going south. My first psychiatrist, she gave me the evaluation and she said I was almost 1-to-1 to it. But she said that I was too young, but she still put it on my record. So, let me see, but I need to like read back in my document. I'm like getting ahead of myself. Yeah, the second psychiatrist, she like said like, "You're too nice," whatever. But you know, she told me you're you know, it's more explosive and you're not exploding on me. It's like, well, psychopaths can be sweet, but like they show no remorse for each other. You would never know because they're putting on a you know, a facade. So like, you know, I just think there should be like training in schools. For like for teachers and like psychiatrists and like the school therapists and stuff, like the counselors, and just in general for stuff like this. Like there should be something in the system, like if somebody has these issues and they don't know, you know, it should be included in like a general wellness, right?
Yeah.
Like talk to a counselor at like your primary care doctor and, you know, tell them how you're feeling. And if, you know, you line up with one of the criterias for something that might be out of their control, they can refer you to a professional that's in their network or like your network. And like just in general, like teach kids in school even like how to like treat people that might possibly have an illness, because there's so many people that just like to shit on people because they dress different, they act different, they like different things than they do, or they don't have a TikTok, so obviously they're like, you know, not normal, or they're gonna shoot up the school. Because like I got called that a lot. I got told that I was gonna do that a lot. And like, I don't even know how to work a gun and I don't like guns. Why am I gonna do that to somebody, you know? Like, why am I gonna kill a bunch of people that I'm never gonna see again anyway? So it's like, you know, whatever, right? But there's so many different ways that people like express themselves and stuff, and they get called out and bullied for it. It's like, I started experimenting with how I wanted to be perceived and shit, you know, like, and I would still get bullied. So, and then like some teachers even would pick on me too because I had a different, you know, thought process than they did. So it's like, you know, there's just a constant like stigma with like, oh, you like trench coats, so you're a school shooter, or oh, you dress in black, you're emo, you cut yourself, or oh, you like Blink-182 and Nirvana, you want to kill yourself. There should just be some mandatory teaching to prevent like bullying and you know, you know, teach kids that like, even though people look different from you, or people are different from you, or they have different likes from you, they're not any less human than you are. Like, they, you know, it's insane that people still do this kind of stuff with how stuff is, you know? Like, now everybody's, like, doing their own fucking thing, and people are still getting, like, bullied for stuff that shouldn't even matter. People want unity, but nobody's united,
Yeah.
you know? But I just really do think there should just be, like, more resources, because jobs do it too. Jobs have, like, these, like, flyers for mental health, and nobody uses them because it's like they're not easily accessible.
Yeah.
You know, people don't enforce it, and you know, Kroger does a pretty good job. Freaking supermarkets, so they kind of, you know, they kind of do it, because they always put out messages on our app that says, oh yeah, Mental Health Awareness Month for men, and, you know, equality awareness, and, you know, hey, Black History Month, and Latino American History Month, and all that. So they are trying, right?
Yeah.
But it's just like, I feel like stuff like that, especially when it comes to mental health and physical care, should be way more accessible than it is currently.
Yeah, I believe so too.
Because a lot of mental health, like, advocates, you know, they fail to realize a lot of the stuff is funded by government, and a lot of stuff won't always be easily accessible because people either don't have money, or people have a hard time finding jobs. And if you don't have any money, you don't get any treatment. There should really just be a free thing, because general wellness checks are usually free, right?
Yeah.
There should just be something, like, you know, like a counselor or whatever, so you can, you know if you need this help or not, so you can start working towards it. Because just having, like, just like, oh, your weight's good, your height's good, you're fine, your leg reflexes are good, your leg does the bouncy bounce when I hit my hammer there. There's no, like, free general mental wellness checks, and I really do think a lot of people would benefit from that, because a lot of people have money issues with how shit is, like, anywhere and everywhere right now, especially considering the obvious elephant in the room. I just really do believe, like, if we rolled something out like that, I really do think a lot of problems would be halved. I know for a fact a lot of stuff like that would be halved, because like, it's just, we've advanced but degressed so much, especially with stuff like that. It hurts a lot, you know, having to spend hundreds of dollars just so somebody can listen, you know?
Yeah.
But if people had training and kids were educated on this, I feel like, you know, it would be a lot easier on our youth, and, you know, counselors. They wouldn't have to constantly, you know, listen to these kids say that, like, hey, my family hates me, my best friend fucked my best friend, and, you know, my teacher keeps accidentally, quote unquote, accidentally giving me a bad grade because I said something he didn't like, or he saw me talking to some kid a certain way, or, you know, he just didn't like the way I was dressed or the way I looked at him, you know? Like, the whole system is messed up. The whole system is like, there needs to be something accessible for everybody to actually know if they need that help or not, because there's so many people that are scared to go and get mental help because the money's an issue. Like, I guess it's like where, like, really where I stop at that question, because it would start to get really, like, politically charged, and we don't want that here. I just really do think there should be something like that.
Yeah, I was thinking of potentially making another stream where that's when political stuff can be aired out, because normally I don't keep that on this channel, but, like, I was thinking of one day doing, like, a just chatting stream where we talk about, like, the serious issues and stuff, but
yeah,
maybe for that.
Hopefully, I'll keep it written down.
yeah. What are ways we could raise awareness? So you mentioned some other things, like what's it called? Sorry, I'm blinking all of a sudden. You mentioned, like, the mandatory stuff in, like, schooling, and, like, mental health checks
Yeah.
and whatnot. What are ways we could raise awareness? Maybe. Besides, like, yeah.
It depends on how you approach it, because I know a lot of people they'll just be like, oh, it doesn't apply to me, I'm not mentally ill, why should I
Mhm.
care about this? And that's a big thing with schools too, because it's like,
Yeah.
oh, you just need to listen and then you pass. Like, no, it shouldn't be like that.
Yeah.
Posters only do so much,
Mhm.
and videos only do so much. What's it called? You know, ADHD is like a real thing. It depends on how you approach like every single thing that I mentioned.
Mhm.
But ADHD is very much a real thing. Like, I don't want people automatically assuming it's laziness or not caring, because like I care a lot about it. Sometimes very little, like, and too much, but it's entirely random, whatever. Even though there's a lot of like posters and all these resources, that they give out, not everyone's going to be able to take them because money. So I
Mhm.
really do just think we should just integrate something into the school system, have a course as soon as you come into work, like a mandatory course you need to pass, or just get educated in, even like upon hire,
Mhm.
that tells you, like, if we find out, that you have a mental problem and you're getting bullied by another coworker, they can be punished for it, because like, are already there. That's kind of not good. That's not good on the company, because they're hiring people that don't give a shit about other people.
Yeah.
There should just be like, even like PSAs or like unskippable ads that say, hey, if you know somebody that is going through shit, check up on them, because they're probably not going to be here for too long. And that's
Mhm.
dark and morbid, but it's painfully true.
Yeah.
Like, even if it's like monthly meetups with like employees, like saying, hey, like a monthly wellness check, or like a wellness check at school, or a wellness check, at your primary care doctor, people would, start to open their eyes and say, maybe I should like actually open up about this, because they're taking it super seriously. People only take stuff seriously when it starts to get enforced like that.
Yeah.
We're not going to mention COVID, because nobody gave a shit about COVID. I'm going to be completely honest. Nobody gave a shit. They kept doing shit anyway, but it needs to be informed, not only in school, not only in jobs, but just in general.
Yeah.
So many people that stay ignorant about stuff like that, and it's what's really, really starting to crash, like, like being called a community, that we're not united. Like,
Mhm.
we're broken and we're tattered, and we need help. We need people to talk to. And yeah, it's just like, even though it's not gonna like inherently fix the problem, it'll at least, have people, saying, okay, you know what, like, this is super serious. I should probably take this seriously.
Yeah.
Like, they refer, it's just like, even though it can't be necessarily cured, it can be dealt with. People can learn how to cope and learn how to deal with it themselves, like at home work, at home resources, sites, internet easily accessible. You give a packet to these people, you think people are struggling, you can, say like, hey, I think you would benefit from this, I think you'd benefit from that. But therapy isn't always going to help people. Because if we have therapists, they're just like, yeah, this is what I think. And then they constantly bring it up each session. They're like, remember what I told you? Remember what I told you? You're telling me the same damn thing. You're not doing anything for yourself. That's not going to help. Because that's what a lot of therapists do now. They're just
Mhm.
like, remember what I told you. Remember to take your medication. Remember to do this. Oh, you feel sad? I think this way. Anyway, bye. Next session, I'll be $200. It's nobody's gonna do that forever. The internet is almost free. Anybody can get on the internet. Anybody can go to a library and say, hey, I need to look this up. And they look it up, and the information's right there. And they could, print it out and say, okay, I'm gonna work on this, this, and this. And they can make a list for themselves, right? Like, that would be so much more cost effective than having to pay hundreds of dollars for somebody to listen to you. That's why I really do think if we had some sort of program in check for kids, for teachers, for managers at jobs, for small-time companies, even for restaurant workers, even for bar people that own a bar, because that's where a lot of bad, not so good things happen at bars. It would be so much better for like the general mental health of individuals, because everybody will actually be mindful of it, because there's just inherently a bunch of people that are shitty out there.
Yeah.
And they don't know how to help people. They're just like, oh, I'm not a professional, I can't help you. But we would run into that issue a lot less if we had people educating about stuff like this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like single families even, and like first beginning teens in the workforce would also benefit from that too, because they know how to act towards people, they know how to socialize, and they know how to help people that, you know, may or may not be able to get help at home. You know, it would just easier accessible resources would even be enough. I feel like that in itself would probably raise awareness in its own way.
Yeah.
Like just showing you care for people.
Yeah.
It doesn't take a lot to like care for people. It doesn't take a lot to be nice or ask somebody how their day is doing or tell them to have a good day, you know. Even at work it feels forced because you're supposed to say that to the customer. But genuinely opening up to other people, like showing them that you are a human being, would make this kind of stuff happen a lot less. I really do feel like a lot of people are really scared to open up. And I've said before, I'm scared to open up because stuff that I've dealt with when I was younger and stuff that I still like deal with now. It's just, you know, a lot of people would benefit from just proving they're human, you know. I'm gonna eat my pizza roll, hold on.
That's fine.
You can talk.
Yeah.
You can talk.
I can, I guess I can talk a little bit about my experiences with a couple of things. Like from what you talked about, like before, my sister has borderline. So my experience with that, unfortunately, is not always the best, but I like learning about it because it's really important that I think people need to hear about this. And there's like a lot of stereotypes, like you said, with like borderline, like how they think they're always explosive and like super unstable and all these things that are just awful, when really there's like it's more complicated than that, and not everyone is like that with it. So like my sister is kind of the explosive kind. She is kind of, it's very easy for her to get really like riled up over something because she's more sensitive to certain issues. And and it's not necessarily like a bad thing, it's just that she's she kind of gets in her own head about things and like really assumes like the worst. And
understandably.
And that doesn't make her a bad person. That doesn't mean she's like unstable or like unsafe or something. She's just like getting her emotions out, and sometimes it's just a little bit bigger than other people. So
because a lot of the time too, it's a lot of how people word things, their tone of voice, or if somebody texts slightly different. A lot of it with me, since I said, you know, I basically grew up on the internet, it was how people would text. If people would text all lowercase and like, you know, have little like goofy little things in there, and then one day they didn't and they started typing proper with periods, I would assume they're mad at me. I would assume they're annoyed by me. They didn't want anything to do with me. So I'd start getting insecure. I would start getting in my own head. I would start panicking. And I was like, I would constantly tell them, like, are you mad at me? Are you mad at me? Are you mad at me? And they'd get sick and tired of it, admittedly. Like, you know, same question, you're giving an answer, you know, whatever. But it's just, like, we can't help it, right? It's really, really hard to not feel that way. And, you know, borderline, there's no, like, surefire way, oh, hey, you have trauma, you're gonna get it. Because I do not have, like, any serious trauma. I didn't get, you know, bad thing happened to me as a child. Nothing. but a lot of it was just a lot of mental neglect from people I knew on the internet and people that I called my friends, you know. A lot of that kind of piled up, and I lost trust. I cared too much, and all of that trust just got eviscerated immediately a lot of the time. So it can stem from stuff like that too.
Yeah.
And it's still like kind of like controversial for whatever reason, because a lot of people try to fake it, just like they fake DID, or they fake depression, or they fake autism, or they fake, you know, having PTSD, or, you know, it's just for good boy points, quote unquote, for cookie clickers, you know. And it's just like the stigma is so disgusting. The scene is so gross, right? Because you tell somebody you have borderline, they're like, "Oh, you look fine to me." It's like saying, "Oh, you don't look autistic."
Yeah.
And I'm sure you've probably dealt with that a lot too, so you know exactly.
Yes.
You know exactly what I'm talking about. It's like, how the fuck is an autistic person supposed to look? How is somebody with anxiety supposed to look? Am I supposed to be like, hi, Mister. Can I get he asked for no mustard. It's like, what the fuck? How am I supposed to fucking act, dude? Like, I'm like shining light on this, like, a serious topic, and it's just like it kind of puts into puts to light like the obvious like misinformation that goes around. But
yeah, there was also, you mentioned things like some of your experiences I really relate to. For instance, with the psychiatrist, like, I had my previous psychiatrist be like, "Oh, you don't sound autistic. You don't sound like my autistic patients." So, like, he was, even though I, like, mask a lot and I mimic my mom the most, like, how she speaks, and that's how she, like, socializes. So I put on her customer voice sometimes. And so he said I didn't sound autistic or something. When in the symptom list, even my voice is one of the symptoms. The reason my voice is so high pitched is because of that. But I just don't speak in a monotone voice. I don't sound robotic. And that's kind of how he expects it. And so, like, it's like that, and then people are like, "I don't believe you because, well," like, they're like, "You don't look like that. You don't," because they assume, like, I don't know, like, an autistic person's supposed to look like someone with cerebral palsy or something. I don't know what they expect. So,
because here's the thing too, they expect people with depression to listen to Bring Me the Horizon, and Falling in Reverse, and fucking Limp Bizkit or some shit. You're like, you like Lady Gaga, you're not fucking depressed, stop lying to me. It's like, the fuck do you want me to listen to? You want me to listen to fucking Death Grips? What do you want from me? Like, oh my god, man.
And then there's just other things, like, it's funny because, well, my previous psychiatrist may not have thought I was autistic. My bully in middle school sure did. So, like, it was like,
fuck.
So it's like, yeah, like the stigma and stuff, because she was very judgmental because I was always the weird quiet kid that was, like, experimenting with my style and, like, slightly awkward and stuff like that. So, like, I don't even know what they expect. I guess the 12-year-old bully was able to pick me out from everyone and, like, be like, she's different in some way. And yet my psychiatrist, like, struggled to pick that out. So
people would tell me in school, like, are you you know, and I'm like, autistic? No. No. I don't know what you're talking about. As I got older, I figured out maybe I am. maybe there's a good chance. I don't know though. And I go up to my dad because he got, he got singled out a lot in school.
Mhm.
He was good at fucking wrestling, so they stopped fucking with him. And he has
Yeah.
asthma and he runs fast. So already there, you kind of imagine, everybody wanted to beat my dad up.
Mhm.
But I went up to my dad one day and I was like, Dad, am I autistic? He's like, yeah, definitely. And I'm like, what do you mean, yeah, definitely? And he's like, well, I think I am. And I'm like thinking about it, and I'm like, you know what? You might be onto something. Yeah, I'll get back to you later
Yeah.
about that. But
Yeah, I was the first one diagnosed, and then it turns out my brother and my dad both have it, so. Because he was always like, no, you're not, it's fine because you're just like me. Guess who
and they
was the
figured
one
out. Yeah, figured it
who
out.
spread it to us, in a way. So, yeah, there was that. Oh, and feel free to eat your pizza rolls, like whenever.
Oh, yeah, I'm eating.
Okay. Let's see. Next question. How can we be safe and supported when dealing with these struggles? Like, what's the best way? Or, like, personally?
I'm gonna eat with food in my mouth.
That's fine.
So, always have at least one person or like a support group you can fall back on.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. Oh my god, the pizza roll's fighting back. Hold on.
Don't choke.
Shit,
Don't
my
choke.
eye!
Oh my god. What happened?
I got energy drink in my eye.
Oh my gosh.
Don't ask me how I did that. I don't know how I did it. Notes. Where are my notes at? Oh fuck. Clay. Clap. Fuck. God damn it, I'm vocal stimming. Fuck. Hold on. God damn it, it's so difficult. Okay. Literally just have a support group if you can.
Yeah.
Coworkers, a school counselor. I know my support group was my school counselor.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my teachers when I was in high school. They helped out a lot, and I got to eat Snickers bars with my counselor one time because he thought it was funny.
Nice.
But you need to just be really mindful of who you consider a part of your support group, because
Mm-hmm.
everybody has issues.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of if they want to listen to your issues and actually, let you fall back on them, and they let you be their fallback.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's some people that want to help out, but they have too much going on, so
Yeah.
they just completely shut themselves out from everybody. So like I said, just be really mindful of your support group. Like, if you have a decent relationship with your family, like, they have to be involved, because that's your family. You're gonna be the closest to your family than anybody else. Unless it's under a certain circumstance, obviously.
Yeah.
But even just like people that are like your friends, you consider them family, like, always keep those people really close and a part of your support group if you can.
Yeah.
I know some doctors, they let you open up and they tell you about their experiences and stuff. Like, that's a good relationship to have too. Like, a person you see often, like, could be at a coffee shop, or you could meet them at the library for studying, or even like your college like counselor or tutor even. Just having that relationship with people is the safest way to have support.
Mm-hmm.
And keep yourself sane, essentially.
Yeah.
Because mental health comes in all shapes and sizes. It's just it's just one of those things.
Yeah.
It's one of those things you just have to be really careful about. Because as well as this, like the support group and stuff, especially for like ADHD and BPD, it is so hard to like actually keep myself on my feet, because sometimes I can't even make my own decisions because I'm going like fucking 40 miles an hour in my own head.
Mm-hmm.
But like, even with stuff like that, like, the more serious it is, the more you need to have that in priority, because you could have really bad depression, you could have really bad anxiety, you could have really bad, like, anything. So it's just, you just need to keep people close to you and actually talk to them about it and say, hey, you know, is it okay if I talk to you about this stuff? Like whenever I'm having issues, and if they say, yeah, that's the green light to go, you know? Because BPD and ADHD combined with depression and anxiety and all this shit, you can imagine how fucking tired I get just sitting down. And I go downstairs and I tell my mom, I'm fucking tired. She's like, you weren't doing anything. What do you mean you're tired? And I go to work and like I tell them I'm tired, and they're like, you weren't doing anything. You just got here. And it's like, there's other forms of being tired.
Yeah.
But okay. But that's really where, you know, that's mostly what I'm gonna say.
Mhm.
So as long as you have a support group, you know, that's the healthiest thing you can do. Some people do blankets. Some people have plushies. Just keep something like that close with you. Have a comfort item. Comfort items help so much. Like little fidget toys even.
Mhm.
You know, something that means a lot to you that you can cherish and take care of. Because in a way, you're taking care of yourself by doing it in a very weird, abstract way. Trust me on that. You know, I know what I'm talking about. I promise. I know what I'm talking about. But it makes for a really nasty, like, messy cocktail in the long term if you don't have any of that. So it's like, if you don't have, you know, people that you can, you know, fall back onto that, I'd really start looking, like, start soul searching, man. Start soul searching. You'll find people. Even if it's people that share your same problem, you guys can bounce off of each other and, you know, help each other. Sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't, but mostly it works because you get new views into other people's minds, and you start to open up other parts of your own by doing that. That's why I wanted to get into like therapy and psychiatry and shit. That's for another time. That's for another time. I'll yap about that later.
Yeah. And next question, I guess, would you say your borderline and ADHD affects positively or negatively in streaming or recording?
ADHD positive because I could just yammer on about a bunch of shit. You heard me do it a lot. We're already like past an hour.
Yeah.
But BPD, it doesn't really show up when I stream all that much, but in terms of having motivation, it negatively impacts it a lot because I start to think about numbers, and I start to think about, oh, I'm gonna get called annoying, or oh, somebody's gonna come in and say a really bad word to me that I'm not gonna like, or just because a lot of times too, I want to reach out to people for collabs. I can't do that because I start to feel like a nuisance, or I want to hold events, and then I'm like, okay, nobody's gonna show up. Why am I even thinking about this to begin with? You know, snowballing, constant snowballing. It snowballs out of control. I don't even know what else I could say about that, because I get angry if something doesn't work out, or if there's scuff on my stream, and I'm like, guys, I'm getting way too angry. I'm gonna have to stop streaming, and then it gets cut like half an hour. I get mad at a game, and I'm like, guys, I can't do this anymore, and then I just leave, or I think about something, and then I go silent for a little bit, and they're like, is she still here? And I'm like, oh, I'm here. I'm just, you know, I'm thinking, you know, obviously trying not to cry while I'm saying it. I'm just thinking right now. Sorry. Luckily, that hasn't happened a lot, but motivation is a big thing too.
Yeah.
I'm going back to the ADHD thing, but motivation is a huge thing. I can't, what was I saying? God damn it, you see what I mean? You see what I fucking mean? Fuck. I can't think of what to do or what to say sometimes, so my streams go lackluster sometimes. I'm like thinking about like 10 different things right now. Hold on. Yeah, it's like half and half. It's half and half. Good chunk of time.
Yeah.
Because I'll be like, hey, this stream's about drawing. And then I play Overwatch, and they're like, weren't you supposed to be drawing? I'm like, oh yeah, I'll do that later. Later never comes. If I say later, later's not gonna happen. It's 9 times out of 10, it's not gonna happen. I'm just like that. I hate it. I do hate it. Adderall doesn't help either. I want to go back on Adderall. I took Adderall for a good chunk of my childhood. I'm just gonna say that. I took Adderall for a very not so proud long time.
Mm.
Is that a good enough answer? I don't know.
Yeah. No, that was a great answer.
Okay.
Yeah, so essentially you would say ADHD positively because you can talk a lot, and borderline negatively, but mostly because of motivation.
Yes. Motivation and just fear of reaching out to people
Yeah.
to, I guess, kind of be on with me, because I love streaming with people.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know how to reach out because I start to overreact.
Yeah.
And it sucks a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And then the anger. I have really bad anger sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll just be like, oh, whatever. Other times I'm not so lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Oui.
do you think that it's a trait or a handicap? Both of those mental health things.
You know, I've had ADHD for so long, I don't even
Mhm.
know. I'd say it's a bit of both.
Yeah.
BPD definitely a handicap because
Mhm.
relationships are very hard for me to keep and maintain, and sometimes want to keep going through with. Because what's it called? I have a lot of baggage with me.
Mhm.
So making new friends and, you know, potentially getting with somebody kind of halts me, because I don't want to open up too much or open up too little or be bland. Like, I always try to really project how I am actually. So people are like, okay, she's funny. I like funny. Funny's good. Funny woman. You never meet a funny woman, you know, quote unquote. But, you know, I always try to really give myself at least 100. At least. Maybe 90 if I'm tired. But, what was I talking about? Hold on. Sorry.
It's trait or handicap. So.
Oh, yeah. God, I'm going blank right now. Well.
That's okay. Take your
damn
time. Take your time.
Oh my fucking god, this shouldn't be that hard. I didn't write a script for this part.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay.
But yeah, no, ADHD, probably a trait and handicap, because it fucks me over at work, but it makes for some really good streaming topics, because I'll start singing like Elvis sometimes. When the BPD makes it really difficult, like both on stream and out of stream personal life, it makes it really difficult. And it doesn't help either, because squaring back to therapy, when I was doing therapy, you know, doing therapy, I had to pay 100 a session. It was just a constant back and forth with my therapist. Like, I would tell her, I feel this way, and it's really been bothering me. And she's like, well, remember what I told you? It's like, that doesn't help.
Yeah.
I remember. I just can't do it, you know? I can't figure it out. You know, there's gonna be some things that you don't figure out or whatever. And that's fine, you know? You need to know everything, because if you know everything, you go fucking insane. Have you seen the philosophers? Have you seen the professors? They know everything and they go fucking crazy.
Yeah.
You know, it's okay to be oblivious to certain things, you know? That kind of kept me on my feet. But for the sake of the topic, BPD, certainly a handicap. ADHD, handicap and trait.
Yeah.
Depending on how you look at it. But yeah.
Yeah.
Lot to say. So derpy.
And I think that is our last question. So I guess I'm gonna end it here. I'm probably gonna stream again in like 30 minutes after I take like a little break, and then I might talk about like the political stuff.
You need to get me on there for that. What?
Yeah. If you want to
let me
join,
know.
feel free. Yeah. It's actually 20 minutes. In 20 minutes. So, yeah, I'll be on the V universe. What's it called? The VC. So yeah. Thank you guys so much for joining, and I'll see you guys in 20 minutes. Bye bye.
Bye.